If you were to look at the most influential games of all time, there's really only one game that revolutionized everything. A game that introduced millions into the world of video games. A game that made block placing one of the world's favorite pastimes. A game that changed a lot of people's lives. Welcome, and in this video, I'm featuring the best-selling game of all time, Minecraft. If I had to tally up what my most played game of all time is, it'd probably be this. From the time I couldn't reach the top shelf, I've been playing Minecraft my whole life. When I was younger, Minecraft was what I would play every day. I only had the Xbox 360 version, and if you go back far enough, I only actually had the demo version, but that was enough for me. I didn't care that I couldn't save, and that it was only the tutorial world. I had stuff to do. I had mountains to explore, rivers to ford, caverns to descend, and memories to be made. I remember one of my favorite things to do was to try and collect all the music discs hidden in the world before the 90-minute trial expired. It was a fun little challenge for me. And when I did get the full version, I went nuts. I put days, weeks of my life into the game, trying to build the best house I could, terrorizing villages, playing with friends, and staying up late trying to find everything there was to do. Minecraft was a sizable portion of my childhood. I've had so many good memories of this game, building things of my wildest imagination and some less imaginative things. And even today, this game has still so many draws that bring new players in and returning players back. The recent Caves and Cliffs terrain is a great example of how interesting and refreshing features can bring new life into a game as old and as overplayed as this. All over the world, millions of people had the same experience I did, growing up with the game that let your creative freedom run wild. So why is this game so good? What caused Minecraft to be the best-selling game of all time? If you look at some of the most iconic classic games, you'll see some pretty well-known popular games, like Pac-Man, Super Mario, Tetris, and even Pong. These games shaped the world as we know it and allowed millions to get interested into the world of video games. People of all ages have found their love for these games and these classic titles, and even more discover and enjoy the games each day. But why am I talking about 50-year-old classic games in a video about a game that's less than 15 years old? Well, it's because of simplicity. Look at these arcade games. These are some of the most addictive, most approachable, and most recognizable forms of entertainment there is. And the reason is because of their simplicity. Pac-Man has only 3 rules. Mario's goal is to just move right. Tetris can be explained in 2 sentences, and Pong... Do I even need to explain Pong? Anyone of any age, any intelligence, any background can enjoy them. The barrier for entry and entertainment is so low that they became a craze that produced the giant video game entertainment business we know today. So now look at Minecraft. Sure, it may be a little bit more complex than Pong, but it's sure as hell less complicated than most other video games. There's only 4 basic rules: move around, place blocks, break blocks, and craft things. That's it. Everything in this game, from exploring the highest mountains, surviving the toughest nights, building the biggest castles, they're all based around these same 4 mechanics. And these 4 rules create an experience that's methodical but relaxing, a way to escape from reality and sink into a world where the only stress is a sudden creeper dropping from the cave above you. Yet it's not tedious either, and things like caving still feel fresh despite my many hours I've spent doing what is essentially the same thing over and over again. This game should feel boring, but it doesn't, because the balance of simplicity and the experience pull you ever back into this blocky world. And this is evident even from the early stages of the game. Recently, I went back and played a bunch of older versions of the game, and that simplicity is there too. I mean, yeah, the older versions are a bit bare and arguably too simplistic, but I still got enjoyment out of it. Take a look at this version. This is alpha version 1.2.0. This version is 13 years old, and yet it still feels like Minecraft. Look, it even says so on the main menu. When I loaded into the world, the first thing I did was go and play like I normally do. And this version still has everything you would expect. You can still punch wood, punch dirt, punch stone, punch cows, and turn the 3D anaglyph on, because why wouldn't you want to play like you were on drugs? And some things that I thought were newer features totally exist in this version too. I was surprised when I saw biomes generating and that I can decorate with colored wool, and I'm even able to look stylish in some Tims. Oh, But to think that this version is 13 years old? 13! And I'm still able to play this just like I do today. It's still Minecraft. It's still the sandbox exploration game we know. It's still fun. Because the simplicity allows it to be. There's a saying that limitation breeds creativity, and I believe this to be 100% true. If you were to put somebody in front of a 3D modeling program and tell them to build a nice house, they couldn't, because how could they? Even if you were to explain to them how everything works, even if you were to explain to them what all the options do, they still would struggle, because there's just too much you can do, too many options, too many starting points, too much complication. But sit the same person down in front of Minecraft, and within 3 hours they'd have it built, because the simplicity of Minecraft allows people's creative freedom to run wild. Part of the reason I'm able to enjoy myself so much in this version is because there's nothing to do in it besides build and explore. I'm not bogged down by crazy menus, there's no blocks that I need to look up the wiki and how to use, there's no complicated mechanics involving me and the player's needs. All I have to work with are the blocks I see, the ground below me, and the sky's build limit. But there's more to simplicity than just limitations. I know I've talked about this before in other videos, but there's a reason why. Approachability is one of the most overlooked things in game design, because if a game is unapproachable, it's not fun, and if it's not fun, why bother? Approachability is the reason why a game like Arma has 1/10 of the player base that Mario Kart does. Because Mario Kart requires like 4 buttons on a controller, and Arma requires 3 goddamn keyboards for all the inputs. The simplicity of Minecraft allows anyone to get into it and just start playing. In fact, there was a news story a couple years ago about a grandma who regularly plays and streams Minecraft in order to create quilt patterns. There's no other game I can think of that just has that as a regular occurrence. There's just something so special about this game and how bare it is. And that's what makes it such a personal experience. Because when you build a house, you know that it's your own doing. The game didn't tell you to build that house or to build it in that way, you just did. There's no tutorial telling you where to place every block or where to mine every bit of stone or what direction you have to travel in. Every choice you make in this game is yours. Which is why that simplicity is important, because without it, none of this would be the case. People get bored of games when there isn't something to do, when they've already done everything there is. But as I mentioned, Minecraft isn't boring, and it will never be, because there's always something to do, always something you haven't done. It's the reason why I've played this game so much growing up and why I still play it today. There's always something in the back of my mind saying, hey, you know that old world? You should get on it again. And blow everything up. Simplicity is not only what brings people into this game, but it's what keeps them coming back. It's why a near 15-year-old game has such a big presence today and why the game is still as popular as it is. Because there will always be something to do in it. But unfortunately, in recent years, Minecraft has lost a lot of that simplicity. There are a few games that are considered to have a mandatory wiki, games that you really can't play without some sort of instruction. Terraria and Stardew Valley and Binding of Isaac are all common games that people seem to think of in this category. And Minecraft also tends to be one of those games that require a wiki. But it didn't used to be. Back in the day, if you knew all the crafting recipes, you didn't need to look anything up. And hell, if you were on the Legacy console editions, you didn't even need to know that. Everything was basic. You knew what blocks did, you knew how to navigate menus, and you knew all the tips and tricks to beat the game. But that's just not true anymore. I regularly find myself Googling how this new block works or how to find this thing that was added or how to make this contraption or whatever. I used to know everything there was about this game, but now I'm just clueless. What changed? Building used to be fun and relaxing, but now people complain about block palettes and depth and supports. It used to be that redstone was a simple thing to trap your friends with, and now people build whole computers with the thing. And why do you need high school chemistry in a game about fighting a dragon? And this isn't new. Even going back 7 years ago, the infamous combat update was released for the game. And for you youngins, this update may seem like it had a wealth of great changes. The end was upgraded massively, common items we know today are introduced, and the Elytra, an item that most players today can't live without, got its start in this update. But at the time, this update was a massive mistake. Most people liked that the dragon fight was the end, and now it just wasn't. Most people complained that the Elytra would make more interesting and unique forms of transport obsolete, and it did. But most importantly, most people were upset about this update massively overcomplicating fighting, to the point where it wasn't fun for most people. Again, simplicity is what makes games fun, and when you remove it, the game stops being fun. In retrospect, this update wasn't that bad. Like I said, a lot of items got added that we take for granted today, and once people got used to it, most actually didn't mind the new combat system. But the combat update was the beginning of the end for most, and it was a sign of much worse to come. Part of Minecraft's downturn in 2016 was attributed to this update, and for good reason, because Minecraft wasn't the simple block placer it used to be anymore. And that downturn never stopped. 2017 and 2018 were some of the darkest times for Minecraft, and unfortunately, those scars are still visible. And in fact, in 2018, the worst update for the entire game came out, in my opinion. Now, Update Aquatic wasn't bad for what it added, but rather for what it did. Specifically, what it did for a lot of people's image of the game. I followed its development quite a bit, but when it released, I entirely avoided it. I can't describe what exactly makes me feel this way, but I felt like the update was wrong, like it had forbidden changes that should have never been released. It just didn't feel like Minecraft. It felt like a new developer had taken over, or like they had run out of ideas and were starting to take ideas from mods. And even when the game got popular again, even when the Village and Pillage update released to much acclaim, I still didn't play the new versions that much. I felt as though Minecraft wasn't what it should be and that the new updates were wrong in some way. And I fear that it's going to stay that way. At the time of making this video, 1.20 is right around the corner, but I don't like it. None of the new stuff coming in the update looks at all like Minecraft to me. It looks like a mod, like it's an unofficial update. Like, seriously, archaeology? And look at this mob. And what is this? Someone convinced me that any of this was a good idea. It just doesn't feel like Minecraft. Vanilla should feel clean and simple and pure, and this just doesn't. Minecraft just isn't what it once was, and it unfortunately will never be again. All those memories of going on simple adventures, building with one type of stone and fighting only 4 kinds of monsters, that's all gone and it's not coming back. The new updates, the new changes, it's ruining what used to be a pure, simple, limited, yet approachable game. Even the old console edition I grew up with is gone too. Not even updated, just completely gone. It's discontinued and replaced with something worse. In fact, I think the Bedrock edition is one of the worst things to happen to this game, more than any other update. I don't care how many people play it, this is bad, like really bad. It looks worse, it runs worse, it plays worse, and they want to make this crap the official version of the game. They literally had a better version of the game already developed, but instead they decided to port an outdated, underpowered mobile version of the game. Do you want to know why most people avoided this version when it first came out? Because it sucks! Never mind the fact that this version is a greedy hellhole designed to take vulnerable children to money for shit that used to be free on other platforms. A game I adored since 9 has now turned into a game I can't stand to play on the console I grew up with it on. It all just makes me so angry I want to bash my head into a tree. I don't play Minecraft much anymore. It's just not a game I see myself regularly playing. And even when I do play, like if a friend wants to hang out for a couple hours, that's it. I'm only on for a couple hours, not the days on end that I used to be on for. This game just isn't what it used to be. But recently, I hopped on some recent versions and tried to see what I missed in the past couple years. And you know what? That feeling of wonderment and excitement I got when I first played the game, it's still here all those years later. I realized that the game didn't change, I did. Everyone did. When I was half my age, every day I would get off the bus from school, boot up the white Xbox 360 and play Minecraft till the sun went down. It's not like I had anything else to do. I didn't have homework. There were no college essays due tomorrow. I wasn't exhausted from work, and it's not like I had an early shift the next day. I would just play. And when I couldn't, I would still enjoy Minecraft. Back when YouTube was better than it is now, I would grab my old iPad and see the amazing things other people would do. I would watch series get started, watch iconic minigames get made, and watch the views and subscribers roll in. YouTubers like the Yogscast, the Minecraft Crew, EthosLab, NerdCubed, Achievement Hunter, these are YouTubers that were a good portion of my childhood. And as I was writing the script, watching all this old content, playing the versions I grew up with, I just couldn't help but start crying. Because deep down I knew that I'd never experienced those early years of Minecraft again. The days of coming home from school every day and enjoying Minecraft are gone now. That old Xbox 360 I used to play on died years ago, and my old world's lost with it. Most of the YouTubers I once knew have moved on or disappeared. The game I once knew, it's all gone. But that doesn't mean that what's here is bad. Yeah, it may be different, but change doesn't necessarily mean that things got worse. Kids today still have the ability to do what I did, even almost a decade and a half later. They can still come home from school, load up Minecraft, and watch their favorite YouTubers on their tablet till it's their bedtime. And truthfully, maybe that's where we all went wrong. Maybe Minecraft's change wasn't bad, our change was. A lot of us gave up on Minecraft because it was either too childish or because we got bored playing the same world on the same servers over and over again. But honestly, playing Minecraft for the first time in a while was still enjoyable, and nothing stops any of us from doing that. I'm sure everyone's still got their old Minecraft account password written on a sticky note somewhere in their house. And what's important is that Minecraft is still Minecraft. The heart of the game we all once knew, it's all still here. All those old diamond block houses we made, those old creeper holes, the giant TNT towers we made, they're all still here. Because even if the world is gone, they still live on in us. And what's amazing is that for a game over a decade and a half old, all of what I just said is still possible. When I played that alpha version, I was impressed by how much of that version is still all here in the current day, in the current version, all still accessible. You can still play the game simply, ignoring all of the changes, all of the extra blocks and complicated mechanics. And I've begun to realize that the reason I don't care for the recent changes aren't because they're bad, but because I paid attention to them. Part of the simplicity of this game is not knowing anything, not knowing all the facets and intricacies of the game. There was a day when I didn't know what Y level diamonds spawned at, what light level is best for mob grinders, and what the correct amount of items go into a hopper to make it act as an item sorter. Those times when I didn't know those things were the times that Minecraft was fun, when Minecraft was simple. The problem isn't that the game is no longer simple, it's that we don't play it simply anymore. Even back in the earliest versions, you could still play complicated. You don't have to search far in order to see that there are many videos showcasing complex achievements in even the earliest versions of the game. Nowadays, yeah, there's a bunch of complicated stuff you can do, but you can still play without the knowledge of any of the new mechanics. Minecraft is still Minecraft, and it will never stop being Minecraft. Because this game isn't designed to be simple, it's designed to be played how you want, whether that means having a simple experience or not. From the moment that you load into the first ever world, to the moment you hit save game for the last time, every block you place is your own, every experience you have is yours. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that Minecraft has the ability to change people's lives. And truthfully, it probably sounds like some dumb clickbait, but it's true, because it happened to me. There's so much that I can attribute to this game, from my creativity to even my current friends. If there's one game that has had the greatest impact on me, this would be it. Even this YouTube channel, I can attribute to Minecraft, because without it, I would have never found the creators and games that inspired me to do what I do today. The focus of this channel has always been and will always be to showcase the experiences that most people won't ever get to have. It's the reason why I showcase so many VR games and multiplayer games. And it's because I grew up watching people who do the same, people like Minecraft, Achievement Hunter, and Yogscast. When I was younger, I didn't really have the same groups of friends that wanted to play the games I did, so I watched those YouTubers to compensate. But now that I have that ability, I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to showcase the experiences that those YouTubers once got to showcase to me. Minecraft genuinely has had an impact on me greater than any game I've ever played. And you know what? All this talk about Minecraft is really making me want to get back into the game. Because Minecraft is special to me, and whether with friends or without, this game was a major part of my childhood. It was what I used to play, the main game I grew up with, the game that is still my escape from the stress of life, the game I still consider to be the best game of all time. And so with that, I figure it's about time I take my leave. Thank you all so much for watching, and good night.